I am Johnny Massacre and welcome to my world. Tonight, Donald Trump has only been in office for 2 weeks and his achievements are astounding. Let's go through them, shall we? Who is with me? Give me a hell yeah! Donald Trump just cannot stop winning. I can't remember a presidency in my lifetime where it felt like such change was occurring. It's actually getting kind of creepy and insane. Really, the top story tonight is Elon Musk is dismantling so many government organizations and agencies that are corrupt and are essentially slush fund / money laundering operations. And the left is going crazy about this. The corruption is so deep and entrenched and has been going on for so many years. Obviously, the cockroaches are trying to fight back now that their gravy train is about to go off the rails, derailed by a giant Trump train. It's looking absolutely crazy and insane. Elon Musk now has access to the US Treasury account, so we can see exactly where all the money is going, and he's shutting down things left, right, and center. The left are calling it a shadow government. Actually, Elon Musk is shutting down the shadow government and the deep state, and everything gets vetted by Donald Trump anyway, so it's not like Elon Musk is running the country. I mean, Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. There's no one better at making money and cutting out wastage than him. And so he's obviously the right guy for the job to head DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and all of this is going on. But we're going to start tonight's episode of Johnny Massacre's World with Donald Trump's achievements. Here are just a few of them, my friends. Here is the White House press secretary. She's going to take us through it.
We are 2 weeks in, and President Trump is already delivering big wins for the American people. Let's go through the facts. On the border, President Trump declared a national emergency, deployed the military, ended catch and release, and reinstated Remain in Mexico. And already, illegal crossings are down 95%.
This is actually true. Isn't that amazing? You actually vote for something and you get it already within 2 weeks. Illegal border crossings down 95%. Just proving that the Biden administration could have done that at any time, and they literally chose not to. I've seen things that Elon Musk has found regarding government wastage, which include sending billions of dollars to Africa to educate them about how to get to the United States and stuff like this. They're literally, and flying them over, they're literally paying illegal immigrants to come to the United States. They're flying them in. The Biden administration wanted this. They wanted to import voters to destroy the country in order to cement power forever. Donald Trump is putting a stop to this. 95% illegal crossings down. Just amazing stuff.
We are resuming construction of the border wall, and Colombia's president is now offering his own plane for deportation of illegal Colombian immigrants. On the economy...
So that was amazing. This was the start of the whole tariff thing. So Colombia's president said that he's not going to take illegal immigrants back, and then Donald Trump threatened him with tariffs, and then he not only allowed illegal immigrants to go back, but he offered his own presidential plane to take them back. This is straight out the Trump playbook.
On the economy and energy, President Trump unleashed American energy, declared a national energy emergency, and killed Joe Biden's radical electric vehicle mandate.
It's like
Wall
Christmas.
Street is booming. AI investments skyrocketed to $500 billion, and there's $20 billion flowing into U.S. data centers across our country. President Trump is restoring law and order. He labeled the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and he is deporting criminal illegal aliens.
The Biden administration wouldn't do that because they want foreigners to come in because they want to get voters to rig elections.
And he signed the Laken Riley Act into law. Draining the swamp, President Trump signed more than 45 executive orders. DEI has been purged from the government and our military, and lazy federal workers have been ordered back to the office. And when it comes to free speech and transparency, President Trump took 12 times more press questions than Joe Biden did in a week, reinstated 440 silenced journalists to the press room, and ended government censorship. Promises made, promises kept, and we're just getting started.
Oh, baby. Sign me up for all of that. So Donald Trump has been absolutely killing it within the first 2 weeks in office. It's just kind of hard to believe. Let's just go through some more of his achievements, shall we? So check this one out. Nick Sauter on X says, breaking, El Salvador has offered to accept deportees of any nationality from the United States, as well as any violent American offenders currently being held in US prisons, per Associated Press. Holy crap, this is incredible. Thank you, Marco Rubio and President Bukele. So El Salvador's president has said he's going to take Trump's illegal immigrants from any country and take American criminals. So the president of El Salvador has this mega prison. It's called CCOT, and it sounds very dystopian. And this is where illegals are going to go. To all the people who said it's too difficult to get them out of your country, El Salvador will take them, bruv. Elon Musk says, great idea. So he's responding to a message on X by president of El Salvador, who says, we've offered the United States of America the opportunity to outsource part of its prison system. So they're going to take illegals and prisoners. So, I mean, people actually doing sensible things for the country. Maybe one of the only countries in the world doing this. And thank God it's the most powerful country, setting the tempo for the rest of the world. This is amazing stuff. I love to see it. So you know who we should be sending to those prisons? These people. These people who recently, a few days ago, burned the American flag to protest mass deportations in California, all the while waving Mexican flags. Yes, they're burning the flag of the country that they illegally entered, but they're waving the flag of the country that they fled and don't want to be deported back to. Why not send them to El Salvador's CCOT prison system? Other wins from Donald Trump? He's sticking up for my Jewish brothers and sisters. Shalom. Check this out. Here is a message from the Department of Justice. And they're saying they're creating a formation of task force to combat anti-Semitism. This is just brilliant. So they're going to try to stem all this Jew hatred that's popped up all over the United States under Biden's reign and the neo-Marxist reign. And I'm all for this. This should be awesome. In light of that, the House Committee on Education and Workforce is opening bombshell investigations into 5 schools across the US for their failure to combat on-campus anti-Semitism, including Berkeley, of course, it's in California, Portland State, of course it's in Portland, and others. So Trump protecting our Jewish brothers and sisters. Other wins from Trump in his first 2 weeks as president of the United States for the second time. The Panama Canal now will allow US Navy ships to pass through for free. So previous to this, according to Myla Joy, Panama used to charge America between $2.5 to $3 million to move US Navy ships through the canal. But now President Trump and Marco Rubio have ended that. Have you ever seen so much get done within 2 weeks of a presidency? I certainly haven't. Other wins from Trump? Well, he has blocked hospitals from giving Ubiti pay Ocablaze to children via executive order. And in light of that, protesters are screaming outside NYU Hospital in New York City. Just brilliant stuff. Trump cannot stop winning. Other things that he's doing? Well, he dropped an airstrike on senior ISS attack planner. You can see an X here by Donald Trump saying exactly that. And other terrorists. Trump says these killers, who were found hiding in caves, threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they live in and killed many terrorists without in any way harming civilians. Man, this message is amazing. Don't go anywhere. Listen to this. Trump says our military has targeted this ISIS attack planner for years, but Biden and his cronies wouldn't act quickly enough to get the job done. I did! Exclamation mark. The message to ISIS and all others who would attack Americans is that we will find you and we will kill you. Man, this president's actually doing what they said they were going to do. So Donald Trump is now posting his kill cams like it's Call of Duty. He's posting videos of him sanctioning these airstrikes. Check this out. Boom! Goodbye, terrorists. Goodbye. See you later. So, oh man, turning shit to glass around the terrorist caves and turning terrorists to glass. Love it, Trumpster. Absolutely love it. Other things Trump has done. So do you remember all this debate about how there's all this water that's basically being rationed by the Californian corrupt authorities in order to weave this narrative of climate change so they can steal billions of dollars worth of your tax money? And how Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, or Gavin Newscomb as Donald Trump calls him, ridiculed that and said there's no faucet where we can just turn on the water. Well, apparently there was a faucet where you can turn on the water, and now Donald Trump has essentially irrigated the whole of California. Do you remember that message from Donald Trump on Truth Social and X? It was relayed to X, where he said he sent the military in to release the water in California. It's actually true. So here's a message from Donald Trump on Truth Social. He says, photo of beautiful water flow that I just opened in California. Today, 1.6 billion gallons, and in 3 days, it will be 5.2 billion gallons. Everyone should be happy about this long-fought victory. I only wish they listened to me. 6 years ago, there would have been no fire. So here is the water now flowing through California. Everyone on the left, tried to discount this massive achievement by Donald Trump and say it's dangerous and it's going to flood stuff. There's no floods, and Donald Trump is irrigating the whole of California. Here's another message from him from Truth Social. He said the water is flowing in California. These once empty half pipes are now brimming with beautiful clean water and heading to farmers throughout the state and to Los Angeles. Too bad they refused to do this during my first term. There would have been no fires. I want to thank our great military and the Army Corps of Engineers for their love of our country and speed in getting this emergency done. Beautiful water flowing through California. So there were spigots then. There were spigots. Political Army on X says, explain how they would have flooded Central Valley communities and farms if they hadn't already or didn't when Trump opened them. You're mincing your words because you'll know you got caught in the lies. Trump was right again about the water in California. Excellent stuff. Other wins from Donald Trump? We're just getting started, bruv. Other wins. According to Eric Doherty on X, Trump is withdrawing the US from the UN Human Rights Council. The UN is a horrible organization that has been essentially bought out by China, and they let the most egregious terrorists and whatnot into their organization. Trump is withdrawing the US from the UN Human Rights Council. Just brilliant. The corruption is coming to an end very soon, and I am here for every single second of it. Are you not? If you're just joining us, we're discussing Donald Trump's huge wins that just will not stop coming thick and fast within only the first 2 weeks of his presidency. But if you have been watching from the beginning, then stop your grinning and drop your linen, donate some cash, and let's keep winning. Streamlabs.com/Johnny Massacre, Patreon.com/Johnny Massacre, PayPal.me/ give me a hell yeah. You can donate, and you can fill that fragile white bar with delicious green. We have made $0 this month with 24 days to go. I've set an ambitious $1,000 target. If you can donate, it helps me to make these videos. The more you donate, the more it motivates me to come back and keep doing this. So other wins for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has announced that he's demanding Ukraine give its rare earth minerals to the United States as payment for all the aid. Quote, so we're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we've given them with their rare earth and other things. So Donald Trump putting America first. If he's going to get Ukraine off the hook with Russia, we're going to get their rare earth minerals. What an absolute boss savage. Other things Donald Trump's done within the first 2 weeks of his presidency. He's sanctioning South Africa for white genocide. So this is brilliant and absolutely huge, because South Africa is going all in on Zimbabwe-style race communism, according to Will Tanner on X, and it must be stopped if the country is to survive. You might have heard about that. Farmland being stolen from people just because of their skin color. They're doing the Zimbabwe plan, which will turn the country into a giant it-hole shay. So Donald Trump said this: South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. It is a bad situation that the radical left media doesn't want to so much as mention. A massive human rights violation at a minimum is happening for all to see. The United States won't stand for it. We will act. Also, I'll be cutting off all future funding to South Africa until a full investigation of this situation has been completed. So, oh my God, a world leader just doing sensible, correct things into my veins, directly into my veins. The Trumpster cannot stop winning. Absolutely can't. So, let's say it again. Daily encounters at our southern border have plunged 93% since President Donald Trump took office, according to Secretary Kristi Noem. She's at the border. She has been at the border recently, and she's reversing the damage the Biden regime has done to the country. I love it. I love it so much. And a great irony is that all of these illegals might now be tracked using the phones given to them for free with your tax money by Biden. I like that. I like that so much. That makes me excited. Look, we've got border star Tom Homan, who's an absolute beast, bulldog of a man, saying that sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. Too long didn't read. Trump is kicking out all of the illegals. Even New York City is becoming safer, apparently. Michelle Maxwell shared a video on X of New York City, and the sidewalk has a conspicuous absence of illegal alien bootleggers. The Donald Trump effect is real. I mean, therefore I am shared another video where they are all gone.
Oh, you couldn't even walk around here. You had to constantly duck people. There were so many. You couldn't even count people before. There were so many. Where did they go?
The Trumpster effect. Mate, the Trumpster effect. And now, you know how how is it mayor or governor? I think it's mayor of California, Eric Adams. The Democrats went after him because he started calling out the ridiculous amounts of mass illegal migration, who were essentially going to vote for the Biden admin. And then they suddenly investigated him. Well, now Eric Adams, I think he's a closet Republican because he has overseen New York Police Department riding the subway overnight, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the next 6 months. This is really happening in New York City. Man, the Trump effect is real. It is realer than real. I'm here for it every single step of the way, and I'm absolutely loving it. Let's sort out New York City. I've never been there. I would love to go. I've just got an affinity for it. Probably because Ghostbusters is one of my favorite films ever. But I just get a good vibe from New York. You have the cold winter, so I can relate to that as a Londoner. And it's good to see New York getting sorted out. No doubt due to the Trump effect. Other amazing things that the Trumpster has overseen is the cancellation of Pride Month via his pick, Secretary of Defense Hegseth. So Hegseth has officially cancelled Pride Month. Do you support this? I mean, there's only 1 month, and it's American month. 4th of July should be extended for a month, and then we can all get behind that because we all fall under the ballot of America, or you Americans do in America. It's just brilliant. It's so good and tasty. Other wins? Man, look at this. Look at this, bruh. Official message from the White House. They say, President Donald J. Trump has signed an executive order requiring that whenever an agency promulgates a new rule, regulations, or guidance, it must identify at least 10 existing rules, regulations, or guidance documents to be repealed. Seriously, I feel like crying reading this. This is the thing I have been craving for the last God knows how long, decades, I guess, at least a decade. You just wonder why the government won't do their job, which is represent the public and diminish in size and give us the power and stop trying to be tyrants and just do sensible things like removing the huge bureaucracy that's just obvious for anyone to see whose brain hasn't been infected by the woke mind virus. They're finally doing it. They're finally doing the sensible things. I love it. And I see Gary von Merbach in the comments. Hello, Gary von Merbach. It's like Christmas, bruv. I really want to smoke a cigar. Can I smoke a cigar? Is that naughty? I've got my amazing... I feel like this deserves a cigar smoking. I feel like Trump is winning so much, he's going to give me mouth cancer because I'm going to be celebrating every day with a cigar. Jesus Christ. Whole lot of mercy. 10 rules, regulations to be repealed for every one that an agency promulgates. It's Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas. Trump is absolutely killing it. But he's not done there, because check this out. Eric Doherty says on X, President Donald Trump plans an executive order to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education. So the Republican, each state should decide on the education of that state. Why have another layer of federal bureaucracy above the bureaucracy of a state which is already the size of a country? It doesn't make sense. Not only that, the Department of Education therefore means it can push down one policy on everyone, and if it's a bad policy, everyone gets screwed. It destroys the idea of checks and balances because it just has one authoritative power. They did crazy things like riddle schools with critical race theory and neo-Marxism, and they were the ones who didn't want kids to go back to school after OBK-19. They're the ones who pushed through the unconstitutional mask mandate and messed up kids' brains by making them wear masks at critical stages in their adolescence and development. Trump is going to abolish that BS. So Trump is winning. Do you get tired of winning? Gary von Merbeck says, 4:35 a.m. heading to work. Enjoy a cigar. Never get tired of winning. Win. Hell yeah. Trump would want you to have a cigar, says Nuka Chronic. Welcome back, Nuka Chronic. You were introduced to this channel through the game known as Dark Souls 3, but welcome to the meat and potatoes of Johnny Massacre's world. Donald Trump, the Trumpster, going to abolish the Department of Education. It just gets better and better and better. All this BS bureaucracy that your tax money is funneled into, the slush fund, the boondoggle, whatever you want to call it, get rid. By trying to arrest Donald Trump and bankrupt him and actually end his life, they evolved him into his final Pokemon form, the orange God Pokemon, and now he's coming for that ass. You started this, Democrats. You started it. I'm glad you tried to do that to him, because now we're getting what we need. My God. Yeah, this is true. According to Wall Street Journal, White House prepares executive order to dismantle the Department of Education, aka the Department of Communism. Brilliant. Trump is absolute beast. He's still winning. So CBS has agreed to hand over the 60 Minutes unedited transcripts to the FCC from their interview with Camel Toe Harris during the election. This is part of Trump's lawsuit against CBS, saying the interview was edited to make her look good. Trump is essentially going to get millions of dollars after suing CBS for selectively editing a Camel Toe Harris interview to make her look better than she really is during election season. Trump is absolute... Mate... This is the best comeback of all time. I love it. Man, I love it. Okay, are they winning? Are you tired of winning yet? Serious question. Are you tired of winning yet? Because I'm not, and if I'm not, I know that you're not. Let us keep winning. Here we go. According to Disclosed TV, the Trump administration has ordered federal employees to remove pronouns from their email signatures today. That was on February the 1st, 3 days ago. In Japan, where I am broadcasting from. More winning. You cannot stop winning. So we're going to get onto some serious winning right now. This is going to get brutal. So the whole deep state intelligence agencies, the people who act with impunity, shadow governing the country and destroying it without being held to account. Well, Trump is now dismantling that, and he has to, because his life and career depends on it, as the Democrats have shown in the last 4 years. Check this out. According to Myla Joy on X, 88 FBI agents who worked on the Trump cases were just physically escorted out of the Washington field office. Warning, this is what happens to America when you try to turn it into a banana republic. So the FBI, who oversaw the investigation into Trump, who knew, it's on record, it's in the Durham investigation, that Hillary Clinton created the Steele dossier as a pretext to go after, stymie, and destroy Donald Trump, but they investigated him anyways, and they still took out a FISA warrant. Knowing all of that, all of those people, they're in trouble now. 88 of them who worked on those Trump cases, physically escorted out of Washington field office. Let us go. Directly into my veins. Directly into my veins. I love it. So the FBI, the feds, they're melting down. On the Fed News subreddit, a user has called for other federal employees to fight sabotage and undermine Trump. Let's go. Let's go. Bring it on. But fear not, because Kash Patel is hopefully going to be confirmed. And if that's the case, the FBI won't get away with it. Elon Musk says Kash will clean house. And he's referencing a Washington Times article that says FBI agents are said to be in a panic and protest by employees and former employees Monday at the Washington field office and headquarters are in the planning stages. It is true. Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCarvey says, I've talked to a lot of FBI people over the last 4 days. It's in utter disarray. People are worried. This is a moment of terror for these people.
As you said, they don't pick their work. They're assigned to the work that they do. The work they do is lawful. It's within FBI policies, and not doing the work is not really an option for them, right? They come to the FBI. Most of them come intending.
Anyways, DOJ has ordered FBI to hand over names of all officials who worked on January the 6th riot cases by tomorrow. Trump is turning the screw, baby. And Hassan Sajwani really sums up the mood of the nation right now on X when he said, honestly, Trump has done in 2 weeks what Biden could not do in 4 years. California has water, Doge saving $1 billion a day, 8,000 plus illegal migrants arrested, DEI woke is dead, pronouns are banned, ceasefire in Gaza, Israeli hostages released, let that sink in, so awesome, says Musk. It is so good. DEI is not dead though. You cannot lower your guard. That's like there's a few orcs out there, like Sauron's still out there. Oh, it's gone now, it's okay. You know what happens in Tolkien's greatest works. You cannot give them a second. It has to be destroyed root and branch. It's DEI is a cancer. If you have a little bit of cancer, we just leave it and think it's not going to come back. It will. So don't rest on your laurels, people. We have to root out and destroy the racism of DEI and all the BS that comes with that. So people are reacting to this on X and the mood is buoyant. Robert Sterling says, I'm 39 years old. For the first time in my life, it feels like America is winning. It is exhilarating. I am with you. I'm with you, Robert. Whale psychiatrist on X says Trump has literally done everything I voted for and more in a week and a half, and most of his cabinet isn't even in place yet. Forget Rushmore. He gets his own mountain. Hell yeah. Dion Joseph says to folks hollering, this is what you wanted? Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. No regrets, no identity politics, no open borders, none of my tax dollars being wasted on silly BS, and swift, transparent, and decisive leadership. I'm sure there are things he will do that I don't agree with, like any other president, but I'm very happy with my vote. I have zero fear and am prepared for a bumpy ride at first, but I'm optimistic about things getting better. Wonderful. That's the mood. So, probably the main news from today before the whole shutting down of US aid, which we're going to get to at some point, either today or tomorrow, is the tariffs. So we had a taster of tariffs a little bit earlier when I told you Trump threatened Colombia with tariffs and they caved quicker than an ISIS terrorist over in the Middle East under the weight of a Donald Trump sanctioned cluster bomb. Well, more tariffs have been threatened, and it was against China, Canada, and Mexico. The reason why Donald Trump threatened these three countries with tariffs is because he holds them responsible for the fentanyl crisis that has unfolded in America over the last few decades. The border with Canada, China supplying the fentanyl, and it also going through Mexico. So Donald Trump threatened tariffs unless these countries sorted out the fentanyl BS. So here is Donald Trump laying the smacketh down on truth. He says the tariff lobby, headed by the globalist and always wrong Wall Street Journal, is working hard to justify countries like Canada, Mexico, and China, and too many others to name, continue the decades-long rip-off of America, both with regard to trade, crime, and poisonous drugs that are allowed to so freely flow into America. Those days are over. The USA has major deficits with Canada, Mexico, and China, and almost all countries, owes $36 trillion, and we're not going to be the stupid country any longer. Make your product in the USA and there are no tariffs. Why should the United States lose trillions of dollars in subsidizing other countries? And why should these countries pay a small fraction of the cost of what USA citizens pay for drugs and pharmaceuticals? As an example, all cap, this will be the golden age of America. There will be some pain. Will there be some pain? Yes, maybe and maybe not. But we will make America great again, and it will all be worth the price that must be paid. We are a country that is now being run with common sense, and the results will be spectacular. Kind of an interesting admission there that Donald Trump says there will be a bit of pain, because if you want to undo these radical, insane, destructive policies that globalists have been penetrating America with and the free Western world for so many decades, there's no easy way to extract those barbs, needles, and slings and arrows, if you will. We have to endure a little bit of pain to undo the pain that they have caused. But Donald Trump threatening Canada and Mexico and China with tariffs. So this is what happened, basically. Trump, he was playing 4D chess with Canada, China, and Mexico. He slapped 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and he said, secure the border or else, because of fentanyl. Drama ensued. Canada and Mexico lost their minds. Canada was screeching about retaliation. Canada actually said they're putting their own retaliatory tariffs on America. Mexico, sweating, basically conceded first and agreed to everything that Trump wanted. The tariffs were paused. 24 hours later, Canada folded too. Total victory. Economy saved, border secured, America first. How does Trump keep getting away with it? That's what happened with the whole tariff fiasco recently. So you can see it from the beginning here with Raw's alerts on X when they said Mexico has announced it will join Canada in imposing retaliatory tariffs from the United States, specifically targeting red states. Interesting. Unfortunately, the US tariffs are much more weighty than the Canadian and Mexican tariffs. And that is because they export so much to America, Canada and Mexico, and I feel like one of you, my brothers and sisters, we, America, we don't really export much to them. So their tariffs can't really hurt us. So when Trump said the tariffs were going to occur, he basically crashed the Mexican peso and Canadian dollar. You can see it happening here. And obviously Canada and Mexico weren't very happy about that. And then suddenly, magic, both countries caved. J.D. Vance, Vice President Extraordinaire, said, for 3 days, a lot of the far left has actively rooted against America and argued we'd get nothing out of President Trump's demands that Mexico secure its country. Well, how do you like them apples? He's talking about this message from Trump that says, I just spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for a 1-month period, during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. You are seeing how Donald Trump made his wealth and became such a boss in real time against the backdrop of America. It's just great. So Donald Trump smashing it with the tariffs. Yes, Mexico and Canada caved within 24 hours, and it's absolutely delicious. Trump got 10,000 Mexican and 10,000 Canadian soldiers to provide us with free labor. Wicked. Absolutely wicked. And do you remember those people saying tariffs don't work? Well, if they don't work, why do other countries threaten the USA with it? And why are they working? They worked because of this. Mexico exports to US as a percentage of GDP 35%, whereas US exports to Mexico vice versa only 1.2%, and the same goes for Canada and its relationship with the US and its trade deals. We don't really need them that much, but they certainly need us. And this is the pattern. Trump wants a foreign leader to do something. Trump announces tariffs. The left claims tariffs won't work this time. The leader caves and Trump gets what he wants, and the cycle continues. So this is nuts. US Air Force intelligence aircraft have therefore entered Mexican airspace after Mexico agreed to cooperate in fighting the cartels. And of course, Trump designated the cartels as a terrorist organization. This is practically unheard of, according to Nick Sauter on X. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, sent a warning to the cartel saying all options are on the table. Yes, the US Air Force intelligence aircraft are in Mexican airspace, and the cartels will be turned to glass if they mess around. President Trump has demanded 100% operational control of the border, and Hegseth is delivering. Wow, this is how it's done, y'all. Take note, England, but it's probably too late for you. This is so tasty. I can't get enough of it. Cannot get enough of it. At one point, Trump said Canada should become the cherished 51st state. So he's hitting them he's hitting them from all angles. This is like Akima's Snapdragon, what's it like, Raging Demon finisher from Street Fighter, just hitting you from all angles. There's nothing you can do. So Trump wants Canada to secure the border. He's basically like tanks the Canadian dollar. Then he offers them the opportunity to become a 51st state, which some Canadians would obviously consider if he's going to destroy their economy. There's so much 4D chess going on here. It is insane. It's insane. But Canadians did get pissed off with Trump. Apparently they booed the American national anthem at some kind of sporting game. But you know what's really funny? Is that when Canadians flood their country with millions of immigrants, illegal immigrants, they're asleep. When recently Canada put a 20% carbon tax on everything because of climate change, aka communism, they were asleep. But then when the US adds a tariff, suddenly they all got pissed off. Canada is kind of messed up right now. I think it would serve them well to become an American state. And Trudeau has caved. Yep, absolutely caved. He's appointing a fentanyl czar, according to Libs of TikTok. He's reinforcing the border with new choppers. Get to the chopper! Technology and personnel. 10,000 troops on the border, or personnel on the border. He's listed the cartels as terrorists. And he's launched a Canadian-US joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I love it. I love it. So Chuck Schumer, where are you at? Because he said, you're watching the Super Bowl next week. Wait till Trump's tariffs raise your guacamole and beer prices. And wait till Trump's Mexico tariffs raise your tomato prices. Where are you at, Chuck Schumer? Are you going to take back what you said? I don't think so. Ben Shapiro gives his thoughts on this tariff extravaganza. He says nobody applies leverage like Trump. Nobody. I'm an advocate of free trade on a principled level when it doesn't threaten key national industries and national security, which is why we should tariff China. In a vacuum, trade wars are not good or easy to win, but Trump saying he likes tariffs in order to demonstrate commitment in a game of chicken. You want to do a trade war? Fine, I love trade wars, let's play. And thus prying a massive concession from the Mexican government on that basis is a masterful use of economic leverage. And before this happened, according to George on X, almost half of Canadian businesses are planning to shift investments or production to the United States in response to President Trump's tariffs. So that's the thing. If he puts the tariff on, it's going to get too expensive for these companies to do business, and more of them will move to the United States. And that's what Trump wants anyways, right? That's what he wants. He says, make it in the United States. There's no tariffs. Man, as opposed to politicians cutting deals to enrich themselves and screw over the American people, like subsidizing other countries and taking off a cut for themselves, Trump is just saying, make it all in America. Let's make things good for the American people. I love it. I love it. Into my veins again with this. According to Eric Doherty, American voters support Trump's tariffs on China, Mexico, European Union, and Canada, but mostly on China, because they need to be reined in, right? They certainly need to be reined in. I said that this Trump presidency on X is like getting a Michelin star meal after having been starved in a Palestinian jail for 4 years. And I'm talking about more winning. Look at this. The US Navy just released a photo of USS Preble firing her Helios laser weapon. Bruv! Into my veins with this timeline. Into my veins. And in lieu of this, the Democratic Party, according to a new poll on CNN, have unfavorable 57% and favorable 31%. Look at that. Into my veins with this timeline. I love it. Trump hasn't stopped winning there. He's going to start targeting the EU with tariff next. Tariffs next. Ben Shapiro is talking about this, how the EU and like European countries are getting ready for it, including the UK. Donald Trump says the EU has abused the United States for years and they can't do that. So there's going to be more tariffs, baby. And there's like serious calls to end income tax and stuff like that. And Trump's talking about how tariffs are going to pay for it. I mean, holy man, Elon Musk is out there. You can find on X. He's talking about abolishing property tax because that essentially means you don't own your property. I mean, that's like a fundamental principle of a free society. It's like you have private property. Not if you own a house. The government basically owns it and taxes you on that. The Musk is out there talking about abolishing property tax. This timeline into my veins directly. Both arms. I'm on neck. Both sides. Hook me up like a pincushion with all this news and all this winning from the Trump administration. The winning doesn't stop there. Senator Rand Paul has called for an ending of all foreign aid. I agree with 36 trillion in debt, says Derek Evans on X. Trump is basically going to end all of this foreign aid. Look how much foreign aid we're pissing away. Mexico, 295 mil. Czech Republic, 324 mil. Estonia, 334 mil. Lithuania, 339 mil. Poland, 375 mil. Romania, 397 mil. Bulgaria, 431 mil. Tanzania, 471 mil. Pakistan, 536 mil. Colombia, 731 mil. Are you adding this shit up? Philippines, 809 mil. Somalia, 998 mil. Lebanon, 1 bill. Iraq, 2.2 bill. Jordan, 2.3 bill. Afghanistan, 6.1 bill. Ukraine, 6.3 bill, 2.6 bill, Egypt 6.3 bill, and Israel 8.5 bill. Look, bruv, this has to stop, and it's going to stop under the Trump admin. Dude, Trump, he'll be up at 3 a.m. working again tomorrow. You know it. This guy's just unstoppable. It's just too much winning. How can you keep up with it? I couldn't keep up with it. It took me hours to sift through all this winning. Babylon B are making light of it. They say exhausted media begs Trump to take a day off. Please, man, it took me forever to make this show. It took me forever, bruv. And then there's more winning. On all levels, right? On all levels. Press secretary for the White House says the nation's report card was released this week and the news is not good. It showed the US students had record low reading comprehension scores last year. This is completely unacceptable to the president. Mr. President, make reading great again. And it's all happening with the help of Muskie. He helped get the Trumpster elected, and Trump is helping to dismantle all this aforementioned bureaucracy while Trump signs off on it. Absolutely beautiful. This is a crazy ass timeline. Can you imagine Musk was a Democrat? The world would never recover. America would never have recovered if it wasn't for this presidency. And Elon Musk is... They're both committed now. They can't pull out. They can't reverse this dismantling of all the bureaucracy, because if they do, they already know their lives, families, career, everything depends on it. Their freedom, you know, they're going to try to throw them in jail unless they now finish what they started, dismantling all of this bureaucracy. Elon Musk came out recently and said, this is our only chance, our last chance to remove the bureaucracy. This is it. So they're going all in. This is amazing. This is amazing. And the left is melting down. Reddit, subreddit, white people Reddit or whatever it is, it got temporarily shut down because there's so many death threats. There's so many death threats against Elon Musk now and Donald Trump. It's getting insane. So I'm not really looking at what they're saying because they're Marxist cult members. They're ideologically subverted. They can't be reasoned with. They can't be rationed with. You can present any amount of evidence. They're not going to change their mind. But you know it's a cesspit of screaming harpies. But God bless Donald Trump. God bless Elon Musk. Protect them. God bless them. Take care of them. Look after them so they can see this job through. I'm not tired of the winning. The winning is delicious. Chef's kiss, bruv. Chef's kiss. Love it. I love it. Trump and Muskie, absolute beast mode. Beast mode forever. Musk says, the more I've gotten to know President Trump, the more I like the guy. Frankly, I love him. They are a team. They're a match made in heaven.
And she feels very good about our chances, I think I can say, right?
In my state,
I think North Carolina. We're going to win North Carolina. It's better win Pennsylvania.
She knows more about it than anybody else. She's the best writer on.
Yeah, man. Elon Musk helped him get elected. And to kind of start to finish off, I thought I'll share this message from Andrew Torba on X, which I think really shows you how and why this is happening. He says, stealing the 2020 election will be remembered as one of the most catastrophic miscalculations in history. In a different timeline, a second Trump term would have unfolded as a largely unremarkable chapter marked by modest policy gains and tempered rhetoric, avoiding extreme upheaval. Instead, the fallout from 2020 and what followed has galvanized a movement that is turning the entire system on its head and gutting it. So thank God for the Dems doing the dirty on the 2020, bruv. So every time I see this tariff stuff, I'm nervous for Trump that's going to backfire, but it's winning spectacularly. However, I'll leave you with this for the next episode of Johnny Massacre's World. China has now put tariffs on the United States. So Mexico and Canada capitulated at the 11th hour. They said, okay, no, we're going to back off. They had a call with Trump. They did what Trump wanted. China aren't doing that. But in spite of that, Shapiro earlier, and he knows what he's talking about. He's made a lot of money himself. He's very smart. He says that he wanted tariffs on China. I don't really know enough about it yet, but Ben Shapiro's got his wish because just in, China announces 10 to 15% tariffs on US oil, agriculture, machinery, coal, right after Trump's tariffs on the country take effect. Recent tariff wars with Canada and Mexico caused the crypto markets to dump, with Bitcoin dipping to 92K. Still better than it was under Biden. You could argue egg prices are still high, but yeah, we lied about caring about inflation so we could deport all the illegals and cancel DEI. That's a funny take from X, but the thing is, people are going to essentially be happy with Trump on the economy. So if his tariffs bring in inflation and hurt the US economy, that's going to be a massive problem for Trump. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with this trade war with China. I've said some radical things in the past that maybe stems from my radical history as a former liberal, where I used to say, just ban all cars and things like that, which is what the left is essentially trying to do now. And I guess maybe the radicalism comes from that. And you know, by extension, I would say completely extricate yourself from China. All manufacturing, just end it. It doesn't matter how much it hurts. I think, well, that might certainly would create too much of a shockwave to deal with if that all happened at once. But I do feel that Trump was right saying there might be a bit of pain, but it's going to be worth it to make America great again. Because if politicians have sold out our country and outsourced our manufacturing to countries like China, it's going to be painful to rectify that and find other ways to boost our own manufacturing. It might take a while, but it's going to be necessary because well, it's obvious, isn't it? It's going to take an effort to fix that mess. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the tariffs on China and the tariffs that China put on the US. But if it means being even more self-sufficient than America are, and we can actually use that self-sufficiency and productivity to enhance the American economy, it would be absolutely wonderful. What do you think is going to happen with the China trade war? So that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to be back tomorrow with an episode on Doge and US aid. So US aid is the US Administration for International Development, and it is essentially the proxy for the deep state to carry out their reign of terror on the American people with censorship and globalism and all that kind of stuff. We've kind of found out where all this nonsense is coming from. They talked about draining the swamp in the first term, but they're doing it now, and Elon Musk is overseeing it. Amazing news tomorrow regarding that agency that's just full of corruption, laundering and wasting billions of dollars worth of American payers' tax money. And we're going to be featuring that tomorrow and talking about Elon Musk's role within the Trump administration and what he's doing. It's going to be a fascinating episode. We're going to let that cook overnight because I think there's still a bit more news to come on that, but I'm absolutely looking forward to that, and I simply cannot wait. The bar beneath me is looking very, very white. You know, whiteness is bad. We got to turn it a different color. Please consider donating on the links to the right of my head. I would really, really appreciate it. And let's listen to what some of you lot are saying before we sign out.
Arthur Shaw says, "Sup Johnny?"
Arthur!
Says, "Hell yeah." Arthur Shaw says, "Hell yeah." Ajay says, "Good afternoon Johnny." Chris Campbell says, "We love you Trumpy." We do. Ajay
Yeah.
says, "Hello Arthur Shaw." Ajay says, "Hello Chris Campbell." Arthur Shaw says, "Hey Ajay, how is it going?" Ajay says, "Johnny, I can see how you fancy her with a quick zoom in there."
Ha 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 ha.
"I'm doing okay. Thank you. How are you?" Arthur Shaw.
Arthur.
Says, "Oi Victoria." Victoria Rockwell says Ajay. Nuka Chronic says, "What Trump has accomplished in his first week back on the job is more than Biden accomplished in 4 years. America needed a win so
True.
badly. I hope he doesn't stop anytime soon."
Make my shit
Michael
the
Gardner
chronic.
says, "Thanks God." Gary Von Mabach says, Good Marga Taco Tuesday. Hey Johnny, hell yeah, lot of mercy. Gary Von Mabach says, hey Massacre mates. Nuka Chronic says, Trump would want you to have a cigar, haha. Gary Von Mabach says 4:35 a.m. heading to work, enjoy your cigar, never get tired of winning, win win win. Milkitia says howdy. Michael Gardner
Yes.
says never tried of winning, that is the energy that most PPL voting for, I glad he delivers. Chris Campbell says, the most corrupt ones are those who cry out the loudest. Ajay says,
Yep.
sup,
Exactly.
Milky Tea.
Exactly,
Brittany
Chris.
Elder, Macabre Cat, says, I'll tune into the VOD later, Johnny. See you next time.
See you next time.
Says, bruv. Milkitia says, I woke up an hour late and didn't wake my husband up in time for work and I'm crying, how you doing? Ajay lol. Ajay says,
Wow.
oh, lol. I'm doing okay. Doing a bit of multitasking. Sitting in the bedroom organizing my new photos on my photo album. In between pass, I go to the living room making perilla beads. Victoria Rockwell
is
says,
brutal.
oh Milky, he's a grown-ass man and he can figure out an alarm clock all by himself. Don't cry, it's not your fault, he's a toddler.
Brutal,
Ajay
but
says,
true.
pauses. Milkitia says, you sound like me, Ajay lol. Ajay says, do you feel in charge? Double quote. Milkitia says, yeah, he's a big boy. We both have alarms, but he's impossible to
Shit.
wake up. And he's working overtime right now and doesn't get home until 7 p.m. and has to leave work at 3 a.m.
Mate, beast mode.
Says has to leave for work at 3 a.m.
God bless the Milky family.
Says, oh man, that blows. Ajay says, Johnny, Akuma is his name. Milkitia says, LMAO, we already pay $1 million for avocado. And I only buy American beer also. I hate football, LMAO. Chris Campbell says, take it easy, Johnny. Your veins are gonna be bursting after a month or two. Victoria Rockwell says lol. Ajay says make gaming great again,
Yes.
make movies great again.
Please.
Chris Campbell says WTF, those numbers real? Chris Campbell says
Which numbers?
Yes, yes.
Bring it up. Like Biden attempted to tear up the Constitution. So I'm gonna be back very soon, y'all. Yeah. Much love. Take care. See you tomorrow. Make sure to share this with your friends to beat the shadow ban and consider donating if you're feeling generous. God bless you, everyone. And good night.